Does true love still win? Long ago in Japan, a land rich with ancient traditions, there lived a beautiful princess who enjoyed a life of luxury and comfort, until she fell in love and gave up everything. 18 years ago, Princess Nori chose love over royalty. But why? Where is she now? Did she ever regret her decision, or did it all work out in the end? To answer these questions and reveal the full story, keep watching. The Japanese Imperial House. Japan is a country deeply rooted in tradition, and its imperial house is believed to be the oldest hereditary royal family in the world. Its origins date back as early as 97 BC during the reign of Emperor Sujin. For generations, Japanese emperors were considered direct descendants of the sun goddess Amaterasu. But everything changed after World War II. When Emperor Hirohito renounced his divine status following Japan's surrender, the monarchy's official role became purely ceremonial under the new constitution. They no longer held political power or the ability to make political statements. Japan's current emperor, Emperor Naruhito, ascended the throne in April 2019 after his father, Emperor Akihito, abdicated due to age and declining health. Naruhito tried to bridge the gap between the imperial family and ordinary citizens, but new challenges arose, especially regarding who could inherit the throne and whom members of the royal family were allowed to marry. In recent decades, several royals have defied long-standing customs. Who broke the rules and what happened afterward? Keep watching to find out. Breaking traditions. Emperor Akihito, the 125th emperor of Japan, became the first to break tradition by marrying a commoner. This is an important part of the story, and you'll soon see why. As a young crown prince, Akihito fell in love with Michiko Shota, a woman he met while playing tennis. To traditionalists, Michiko was considered too low-class, and her Catholic education caused even more controversy. Their engagement outraged conservative groups across Japan. But the harshest opposition came from within the palace itself. According to reports, Empress Kojin, Akihito's mother, believed Michiko was unfit for her son, and her disapproval caused significant emotional strain on Michiko and even her children. In an attempt to separate the couple, Michiko was sent to Brussels in September 1958. However, with encouragement from the King of Belgium, who advised that a happy crown prince would make a better emperor, the relationship endured. Eventually, the Imperial Household Council approved the engagement. In 1959, Akihito and Michiko married, becoming the first imperial couple in over 2,600 years to unite with a commoner. The media celebrated their union as a real-life fairy tale. The couple later welcomed 3 children. Naruhito, who became the 126th Emperor of Japan. Fumihito, later Prince Akishino and now the Crown Prince. Sayako, better known as Princess Nori. Meet Princess Nori, early life. Princess Sayako, known in her childhood as Princess Nori, was born on April 18, 1969, as the third child of Emperor Akihito and Empress Michiko. She grew up within the refined and carefully structured world of the Japanese imperial household. Princess Sayako was educated at Gakushuin School in Tokyo, a private institution traditionally attended by aristocratic families and members of the imperial house. From early on, it was assumed that she would one day marry and become a private citizen. Beginning in 1977, when she was still in elementary school, Sayako took yearly trips with only her mother. During junior high, she began studying bio, a traditional Japanese dance, and even performed publicly at the National Theater. According to Empress Michiko, Sayako arrived 2 weeks earlier than expected and was a genuinely sweet-natured child. She loved the natural surroundings of Togu Palace, where her parents lived as the crown prince and princess. Growing up in the palace, Sayako lived a life of comfort. Dozens of attendants cared for her every need, someone even poured her tea. She never experienced the challenges of ordinary life and traveled through Tokyo only by car, accompanied by a personal driver. Her easygoing personality earned her a loving nickname from her father, Miss Don't Mind. Empress Michiko later shared that Sayako sometimes felt restricted by the expectations placed upon her as an imperial princess. Still, she always had the unwavering support of her family and, when her parents were away, of the palace staff who helped raise her. In 1988, Sayako began studying Japanese language and literature at Gakushuin University. She graduated in March 1992 from the Faculty of Letters. The following year, Emperor Showa passed away and her father, Akihito, ascended the throne. After graduating, Sayako became a research assistant at the Yamashina Institute for Ornithology, working 2 days a week. She became the first Japanese princess ever to earn a salary. As a researcher, she co-authored studies on bird populations around the Imperial Palace and the Akasakura State, focusing especially on kingfishers. Alongside her work, Princess Sayako fulfilled her duties as an adult member of the Imperial family. She made official visits to 14 countries, including 8 solo trips, such as her 1995 visit to Brazil to mark 100 years of diplomatic relations with Japan. She also supported guide dog training programs for the visually impaired and played a vital role as a confidant to her parents. During this chapter of her life, Sayako met the man she would eventually fall in love with. Having grown up witnessing the deep affection between her parents, she learned that love mattered more than status. She promised herself she would marry only for love, breaking from the royal family's long tradition of arranged marriages. So how did she meet the love of her life? You won't want to miss this part. The love story of Princess Nori and Yoshiki Kuroda. It was during her university years that Princess Sayako first crossed paths with Yoshiki Kuroda, an urban designer working for the Tokyo metropolitan government. In 2003, at age 34, Sayako met him again, this time through her brother, Prince Fumihito, who was a friend and colleague of Kuroda. Princess Sayako and Yoshiki Kuroda reconnected at a gathering hosted by her brother, Prince Fumihito. The two men had been classmates at Gakushuin since elementary school, and Yoshiki often visited the Akasakura State, where Sayako was conducting her research. She remembered him as the tall friend with a serious expression. Yoshiki later changed jobs, joining the Tokyo metropolitan government. He explained that he wanted to work in the public sector, though it was also suggested that staying in Tokyo allowed him to remain close to his mother, with whom he lived in a Harajuku apartment. Unlike a corporate job at Toyota, a government position wouldn't require him to move outside the city. His duties centered on urban development and construction. Sayako and Yoshiki began as platonic friends, but over time their bond deepened into something more. Prince Fumihito played the role of Cupid, offering his residence as a private and safe location for their dates. Their relationship grew quickly, and by December 2004 they were engaged. A press conference followed, anticipating the media frenzy that comes with the marriage of an emperor's daughter. Princess Sayako made a heartfelt request for the media not to cause trouble for the man she loved. She explained, "We met again after some time, and the sight of him joining the group with a warm smile stayed in my heart. As we talked more on different occasions, our thoughts naturally turned toward marriage." Yoshiki expressed similar feelings, recalling, "We were having tea at Prince Akishino's residence when I asked her, 'Will you marry me?'" Sayako shared that her parents were delighted, offering their congratulations wholeheartedly. She added, "Since I was very small, I knew that marriage would mean leaving the imperial family. So although I have some anxiety about starting a new life, I don't feel anything entirely unexpected." Many people who watched that press conference were struck by Sayako's elegance and Yoshiki's sincere, unpretentious nature. Yoshiki Kuroda was not of noble birth, nor was he wealthy. He was a hard-working, modestly paid civil servant, but he was the man Princess Sayako loved. Surprisingly, no one within the palace opposed their relationship. However, tradition required that she give up her royal title, status, and wealth upon marrying a commoner. For Sayako, this sacrifice was not a burden. She had long felt confined by palace life. Choosing love over royalty came naturally to her. At 35 years old, Princess Sayako married 39-year-old Yoshiki Kuroda the following year. Their wedding was held at the Imperial Hotel in Tokyo in 2005. Unlike other royal women who marry into the imperial family and wear the ornate 12-layer junihaido, Sayako opted for a simple, elegant white silk gown with a modest pearl necklace. Yoshiki wore a mourning suit. The emperor and empress, along with other members of the imperial family, attended the ceremony, which by royal standards was quite subdued. Tokyo Governor Shintaro Ishihara delivered a toast at the reception. While only about 30 people attended the ceremony and roughly 120 attended the reception, thousands of well-wishers lined the streets to witness the short procession between the imperial palace and the hotel. And even though fewer than 10,000 people signed the congratulatory book at the palace, Although many Japanese viewers greeted the televised wedding with indifference, the event marked a significant milestone. Princess Nori became the first imperial princess to marry a non-aristocratic commoner since the imperial household law was enacted in 1947. Life outside royalty. When Princess Nori left the imperial family, she gave up everything: her income, palace residence, chauffeured car, and personal attendants. Yet she had no regrets. She believed she had gained something far more precious: true love. To prepare for her new lifestyle, Sayako resigned from her ornithology research position, took driving lessons, and practiced shopping at the supermarket. Initially, she was accompanied by Tokyo Metropolitan Police officers who maintained a discreet distance, but over time, only minimal local police presence was needed. Sayako also had to learn basic everyday skills she had never performed before: using a bank card at the store, cooking meals, cleaning the house, and washing dishes. Adjusting to life without servants was a dramatic shift from the strict etiquette and luxury she had always known. It wasn't easy, but she drew comfort from a parable her mother once shared, about a snail complaining of its burden until it noticed other snails carrying even larger shells, realizing that everyone has challenges to bear. Despite the initial difficulties, Sayako quickly adapted and learned to manage her new life with dignity and strength. Family relationships. Fast forward 18 years. Yashiki and Sayako, now a former princess, still attend formal events alongside the imperial family, including receptions for visiting royalty and heads of state. They are always warmly welcomed and treated as valued family members. They were even present at the 2019 enthronement of Emperor Naruhito. Sayako remains especially close to her nieces and nephews. For the coming-of-age ceremony of her niece Princess Aiko, daughter of Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako, Sayako lent her the tiara she herself received in 1989 for her own coming-of-age. Princess Aiko wore Kuroda's tiara on December 5, 2021, to celebrate turning 20. In recent years, it has become tradition for Japan's imperial princesses to receive a tiara when they turn 20. These tiaras belong to the state, however, when princesses marry and lose. When imperial princesses marry and lose their imperial status, they must return their state-owned tiaras. For example, when Princess Mako, daughter of Crown Prince Fumihito, married a commoner and became Mako Komuro, she was required to return her tiara just like her aunt Sayako. However, the tiara worn by Princess Aiko was originally made for Princess Sayako when she turned 20 in 1989. At that time, her parents, Emperor Akihito and Empress Michiko, paid for it using their private funds. Because of this, Sayako was allowed to keep it after her marriage. Princess Aiko did not receive a newly made tiara, as the imperial household felt it would be inappropriate amidst the hardships caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, so she borrowed her aunt's instead. Kuroda Sayako and her husband Yashiki stood out for their modest image at official ceremonies. Yashiki even drove a standard car to the imperial palace with Sayako sitting quietly in the passenger seat. But soon her life took yet another unexpected turn, this time away from being a housewife. What happened next? Keep watching. Nori's life today. What happened? The year 2012 marked a major turning point for Sayako. She was appointed High Priestess of the Ise Shrine's East Precinct, which is dedicated to Amaterasu, the sun goddess believed to be the ancestor of Japan's emperors. This role made her the emperor's official representative at the shrine until the following year. Sayako assisted her elderly aunt, Ikeda Atsuko, Emperor Akihito's older sister, who served as chief priestess. Together, they performed Shinto rituals on behalf of the emperor. In the post-war era, this sacred role has traditionally been held by daughters of emperors. Though Sayako usually appears modest and gentle, those who have seen her in the white jacket and vermilion hakama of a priestess say she carries an air of quiet dignity. At the 2014 Udakai Hajime New Year poetry reading, Empress Michiko wrote a poem about her daughter's devotion. "I now leave to serve the deity, soon to be moved to a newly built shrine." So saying with eyes serene, our daughter left for Ise. In 2017, after her aunt retired, Sayako was elevated to the role of Supreme Priestess of the Ise Grand Shrine. She now spends several weeks each year away from Tokyo, living in Ise and carrying out sacred rituals. Before Emperor Akihito's abdication in April 2019, Sayako was present when the imperial couple traveled to the shrine to report the abdication to Amaterasu. Meanwhile, Yashiki Kuroda advanced in his career. In April 2021, he was promoted from an urban planning section head to a more senior general position. Section heads in the Tokyo metropolitan government typically earn around 10 million yen per year, and his new role offers even higher pay. Around this time, the couple also finished repaying their home loan after 15 years. A new chapter. Raised as a princess and now a private citizen, Kuroda Sayako has found peace and purpose in offering prayers for the nation and the imperial family. Despite not having children, she and Yoshiki share a strong, enduring bond. Sayako enjoys spending time with her nephews and nieces and cherishes the simple pleasures of life. Now 53 years old, with her husband at 57, Sayako appears to have discovered what truly matters. She has learned that love, companionship, and a life lived on one's own terms are far more valuable than wealth, privilege, or prestigious titles. It's a choice we all face at some point. Do we pursue luxury and status, or a life filled with love and contentment? What about you? If you had the choice, would you choose a life of grandeur or a life rooted in love and simplicity? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and explore more inspiring stories on this channel.